Today's lesson will be part 3 from lesson 6.1 on decimals and percents. Today we're going to practice changing the following percents to decimals and fractions. So remember that we can take the decimal point and move it 2 places to the left to get a percent to a decimal. So 48% is like 0.48. Now remember, this is the second place after the decimal, so this can also be read as 48 hundredths, which is 48 out of 100. Now we can take time to simplify or reduce this. Both of these are divisible by 2, and both of these are divisible by 2. So 48% is the same as 0.48, or 12/25. Take a minute and try the next 3 on your own. Now that you've tried these 3, let's go over them together. So again, taking the decimal point, moving it 2 places to the left. So 13% is like 0.13 or 13 hundredths. Now 13 is a prime number, so we won't be able to simplify or reduce. Again, if we don't see the decimal point, it is at the end. Move it 2 times. So we have 2.25 or 2 and 25 hundredths. So when the percent is bigger than 100, our fraction will be a mixed number, 2 and 25 hundredths. Now again, we can go ahead and simplify. We know that 25 hundredths is like 1/4. On number 4, moving the decimal point 2 times, so we have 0.565. Now, we can see that we have 3 places behind the decimal point, which this ends in the thousandths. So this would be 565 thousandths. Since we know that they both end in 5 and 0, we can divide by 5. 1,000 divided by 5 is 200, and 565 divided by 5 is 113. This will be our final answer. When you're trying to change fractions to decimals and percents, one method that you can always use is to divide. So remember that we always put the top number inside the house. 8 goes into 30 3 times. 8 goes into 60 7 times. 8 goes into 40 5 times. Now remember to bring that decimal point straight up. So my decimal will be 0.375 or 375 thousandths. Now to change that to a percent, remember that we have to move the decimal 2 places to the right. And when I do that, I end up with 37.5%. Now, because this says 7/10, I know that 7 has to be in the tenths place. So since my denominator is a 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, it's already in a unit that we can convert straight to a decimal. Now go ahead and change that 0.7 or 7/10 to a percent. You should have moved that decimal point 2 places to the right and added a 0 for a placeholder. So 7/10 is the same as 70%. Now, on number 7, you could either use the method of dividing like we did in number 5, or you could set up an equivalent fraction. So we know that we can get from 20 to 100 pretty easily. 20 times 5 is 100. 13 times 5 is 65. So 13/20 is the same as 65 hundredths. I can now use 65 hundredths to write my decimal. Now again, go ahead and write that as a percent. When you move that decimal place 2 places to the right, your final answer would be 65%.